The Awakening. There was never a moment in the 20 years and 354 days of Camille Driver's life where she didn't meet or exceed the expectations placed upon her. From her early years, she was molded by the relentless pressure of her environment, fulfilling every demand with precision. When her parents insisted she maintain excellent grades, she complied without question. When they signed her up for soccer, she practiced diligently, eventually becoming the top scorer in her league. And when they expected her home by 11, she was always home by 10, just to be sure. With the looming expectation of taking over her father's law firm after his retirement, she poured herself into selecting the best universities available, all in a pursuit of perfection. As she sat in a bustling coffee shop near campus, books sprawled across the table, Camille was focused on securing those coveted top marks. Can you believe it? Just 1 week to go. Savannah's voice pulled Camille from her academic reverie. With a slight grunt, Camille glanced up at her best friend, who was spinning in her chair, an infectious energy radiating from her. Savannah, ever the distractor, was trying to coax Camille out of her studies. What are you talking about? Camille replied, her patience thinning as names and case laws danced in her mind. Savannah rolled her eyes dramatically, as she often did. Your birthday. Next week. You're going to be 21. A flicker of annoyance crossed Camille's face, its meaning unambiguous. She was not in the mood for distractions, she was committed to her studies. Please, can't we take a break? Savannah persisted, her expression pleading. Let's not just talk about books, let's celebrate your birthday. An involuntary sigh escaped Camille's lips, revealing to Savannah that she had won this round. Savannah had a way of drawing Camille out of her shell. Their friendship had blossomed 17 years ago when Savannah's family moved in next door, and Camille's mother, determined to socialize her daughter, had orchestrated a playdate that Camille had initially resisted. Yet, despite her introverted nature, Savannah's vibrant personality had a way of reaching Camille, leading to an unshakable bond. You know, it's not just about me being 21, Camille argued, trying to refocus. I mean, what's the big deal? I still have finals to worry about. Savannah shrugged, exactly. That just means we should celebrate after everything's done. Come on, it's a major milestone. Sure, a milestone, but I have so much to study. Camille attempted to narrow her focus, her finger tracing the pages of her notes. Fine, Savannah said, leaning back with a playful smirk, but I think you're underestimating how exciting this is, the potential you have to meet your soulmate. Camille couldn't help but roll her eyes. We already know each other's names. Savannah, I'm going to see Adam. He is my soulmate. But what if he isn't? Savannah challenged, her eyebrows arching with defiance. What if your life changes dramatically? Isn't that exciting? Not really, Camille responded, a hint of irritation in her voice. We've been dating for 4 years. What makes you think anything will change? Savannah leaned forward, her gaze intense. Because it's not just about romance, this is about discovering who you really are, stepping out from behind the expectations so many people have placed on you. Can't you see that? Camille's brow furrowed. Was she really just living a scripted life? Did she want more? As a child, her imagination used to run wild, creating scenes with her stuffed animals or sketching vibrant worlds filled with adventures. But as the years passed, those desires transformed into obligations, leading her into the structured path of her parents' dreams. Savannah, I've always found comfort in what's expected of me. I'm happy with my life, Camille argued, attempting to stand firm. Are you? Savannah paused, letting the question hang heavy in the air. Or are you just comfortable? Camille felt a wave of uncertainty wash over her. Was she simply coasting along, swept up by the currents of her life? A part of her wanted to protest, to affirm her choices, but another part craved the adventure Savannah painted. Could she entertain the thought of stepping away from the thriving certainty of her life? Savannah broke the silence. Let's just take a moment and think. No studying. Just talking. What do you envision for yourself, beyond the expectations? What do you want out of life for yourself? As Cammy looked into her best friend's eyes, she saw warmth and encouragement, a vow to help her jump off the planned path if only she would take that leap. For the first time in a long while, Cammy felt a spark of curiosity flicker within her. I guess, I've never really thought about it, Cammy admitted softly, words slipping from her as if they had been trapped for a long time. Exactly. So why not? What do you say, how about we do something crazy to celebrate your birthday? Savannah proposed, her voice bubbling with excitement. Cammy's heart raced at the prospect, not out of fear, but from exhilaration. She could choose to embrace the chaos, to step into the unknown, to explore beyond her walls of predictability. Feeling a smile tug at her lips, Cammy took a deep breath, allowing the idea of spontaneity to settle into her mind. Okay, let's think of something. Savannah beamed, and for the first time, Cammy felt the possibilities stretching out before her, a thrilling canvas waiting to be painted. Together, they would navigate this new chapter, one filled with dreams, detours, and perhaps a little chaos that had been long overdue. Cammy felt a swell of excitement as she exchanged glances with Savannah, the possibilities of what lay ahead sparking her imagination. No longer bound by the suffocating expectations that had defined her life, Cammy was ready to step into the unknown. What's the first step? She asked, half joking. She was still wrapped up in the notion that maybe this wasn't just a study break, but a turning point in her life. Savannah leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with enthusiasm. How about we start with a spontaneous trip? We could hit the beach, go hiking, or even just explore the city. Something that gets us out of here and gives you a taste of freedom. Cammy hesitated at the mention of the beach. It wasn't exactly conducive to her serious student persona, not to mention she had a mountain of revision to conquer. But a small part of her, a part that had long been dormant, begged to break free. I've never just ditched my responsibilities before, Cammy murmured, a mix of reluctance and excitement coursing through her. See? That's exactly why we should do it. You have 1 week left in your college junior year, and I promise you, you deserve to celebrate your birthday like a queen. Savannah insisted, her passion infectious. Cammy bit her lip, weighing her options. She could continue living within the confines of her meticulously plotted life, or she could dare to step beyond those self-imposed boundaries, at least for 1 day. Okay, what do we need? Savannah squealed, clapping her hands together. First, we need snacks. And sunscreen, because I'm not letting you burn on your big day. And of course, a killer playlist. Before they knew it, the coffee shop transformed into a hub of adventure planning. Books were temporarily forgotten as Savannah whipped out her phone, her fingers flying across the screen with the enthusiasm of someone planning a heist. While Savannah was busy booking their trip, Cammy couldn't help but feel both nervous and exhilarated. The prospect of an adventure felt like fireworks igniting inside her. She had always been the careful planner, and yet, here she was, aligning herself with spontaneity. Got everything. Savannah announced as she slipped her phone back into her pocket, a triumphant grin plastered on her face. Now, all we have to do is make sure we're out of here in 30 minutes. What do you want to wear? Something beachy, or are we going for a hike? Again, Cammy hesitated. She could almost hear the lingering whispers of her parents' expectations: dress appropriately, act professionally. But today, she wasn't dressing for them. Beachy, Cammy declared, surprising even herself. It felt like not just a choice but a statement, one that underscored her desire for freedom. Let's find my sun hat and some shorts. Within minutes, they were off. Cammy briefly stopped by her dorm to throw on a simple sundress and flip-flops, the throaty laughter of Savannah punctuating the air with excitement. Once they were back at the coffee shop, they clutched their beach bag, stuffed with snacks, drinks, and, a somewhat questionable choice in hindsight, a small Bluetooth speaker for music. As they walked toward the beach, a vivid rush of thoughts flooded Cammy's mind. What if she failed her finals? What if today proved she really was predictable? But each step away from the coffee shop pushed her doubts aside, making room for something liberating. The sun was bright, and the salty breeze danced across their skin as they reached the sandy shore. Cammy could hardly suppress a squeal of delight. "This is incredible," Cammy exclaimed, the stress and pressure of her life melting away in the newly shimmering sunlight. Savannah spread out a beach blanket with practiced ease. "Now, we will soak it all in. Birthday vibes only." She plopped down on the blanket and flopped onto her back, her arms spread wide, fully embracing the moment. Cammy took a moment just to watch her friend basking in sunlight, the worry lines on her face dissolving under the warmth. She felt a sense of reassurance. Savannah would always be the friend to push her out of her comfort zone. As the day progressed, they shared stories, laughter, and a million little moments that felt monumental at the time. They made sandcastles, played beach volleyball with a group of fellow revelers, and danced to music resonating from Cammy's speaker. The shadows grew long as they enjoyed the fading daylight, and somewhere in the middle of it all, Cammy allowed herself to reflect on the upcoming dream, the promise of seeing Adam. It was a reality she had been preparing for meticulously. Yet, with each tick of the clock, she couldn't shake the feeling that something had already shifted. "Okay, serious question," Savannah said, breaking into Cammy's thoughts. "How do you feel about your soulmate situation now?" Cammy thought for a moment. "I guess it's still complicated. I love Adam, and the thought of meeting him is exciting. But maybe I've always tied my identity to that, and I don't know what it means for me personally." "That's a start." Savannah grinned, breaking the code, one layer at a time. "You've got to realize that whoever your soulmate is, they're only a part of your story, not the whole thing." Cammy nodded, considering the wisdom in her friend's words. Maybe today had been about more than just celebrating a birthday, it had sparked an awakening of sorts. As the sun dipped low in the horizon, painting the sky in vibrant hues of pink and orange, Cammy leaned back against her arms, soaking in the serenity. Maybe she didn't need to fit neatly into an outline, she could carve her own path. "I think today is the beginning," Cammy concluded, her heart swelling with newfound hope. "I want to find what else is out there, discover what I truly want beyond expectations." Savannah grinned. "Now that's the spirit. Here's to not being boring and ordinary." As the waves lapped gently against the shore, Cammy felt the exhilarating thrill of possibility wash over her, spilling into the ventures that awaited beyond her 21st birthday, ready to embrace whatever came next. Cammy and Savannah laughed, their spirits high as the sun set behind them, casting a golden glow over the beach. The sound of the crashing waves mixed with the happy chatter of nearby beachgoers, creating a vibrant soundtrack to their day. "Okay, let's do one more thing before we head back," Savannah said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Let's write letters to our future selves. We can seal them up and open them together on your next birthday." Cammy raised an eyebrow but felt a thrill at the idea. "What do you want to write about?" "About who we are right now and where we hope to be next year. It'll be a fun reminder of how much we've grown and changed." Cammy grabbed a pen and a small notebook she had tossed into the beach bag, flipping to a blank page. "All right, but I have no idea what to say," she admitted, feeling the weight of her decisions pressing heavy. "It doesn't have to be perfect." Savannah encouraged, her excitement uncontainable. "Just be honest, raw and real." Cammy took a deep breath, allowing the sounds of the beach to fade into the background as she began to write. "Dear future Cammy," she penned, pausing as thoughts rushed in. "I hope you found the courage to embrace who you truly are, beyond the expectations set by others. I hope you're living a life that fills you with joy and doesn't just check off the boxes on someone else's list." She leaned back for a moment, contemplating the words. "I hope you're exploring new paths and taking risks." With each sentence, she felt the shackles of predictability loosening. "Most importantly, I hope you found a balance between ambition and happiness." Savannah glanced over, a broad smile on her face as she scribbled away on her own paper. They exchanged brief smiles, each feeling like they were crafting a future only they could define. When they finished, they shared their letters, each writing a small note of encouragement for the other in the margins. Cammy's heart swelled as she folded her letter and tucked it away, excited to see where she would be a year from now. With the sun sinking low, they packed their things up, heading away from the beach. As they walked along the shore, the cool breeze filled with salt and excitement rustled through Cammie's hair. She felt free, alive, and full of anticipatory wonder for what lay ahead. Back in the car, music blaring, laughter filling every corner, Cammie realized just how necessary today had been. She was ready to face the final week of classes, her upcoming birthday, and everything that came after, a life more vibrant and true to herself. As they pulled into Cammie's parking spot outside her dorm, she turned to Savannah, ready to express her gratitude. "Thank you. Seriously. Today meant so much to me. You helped me step outside my comfort zone." Savannah brushed off the compliment with a playful wave, but her eyes sparkled with sincerity. "Anytime, Cam. Remember, you've got this. And you're never alone." Cammie felt a warmth spreading in her chest, recognizing the unwavering support of her best friend. "Okay, here's the deal. After finals, let's plan a weekend trip, just us. No school, no pressures, just adventure." "A weekend of adventure? Count me in." Savannah cheered, her enthusiasm infectious. Stepping out of the car, Cammie paused for a moment, staring up at the night sky, dotted with stars. Each twinkled like the possibilities ahead, the dreams she had long tucked away were now within reach. She felt ready to embrace the uncertainty, to welcome the adventures ahead, even if they led her away from the predictable life she had thought she wanted. The next week flew by in a whirlwind of exams and tension, but each moment became more manageable knowing that she had taken a bold step into the unknown. On her birthday, she woke up not anticipating a call from Adam, but instead, she smiled at the thought of her future and the journey that lay ahead. When she finally did meet with Adam after her dream, Cammie felt a sense of calm. Rather than letting the expectations of the moment consume her, she embraced it as part of her journey. Whether they were destined to be together or not, she knew that she was finally beginning to carve her own path. Over the days that followed, Cammie felt more herself than she ever had. She was learning to embrace the joys of unpredictability. She understood that life wasn't merely about ticking boxes, but about the moments that challenged her, made her laugh, and pushed her boundaries. As she and Savannah began planning their upcoming adventure, Cammie felt a newfound determination, one that no longer relied on others' definitions of success or happiness. She was carving out the narrative of her life, one adventure at a time. And with that thought, she looked forward, ready to face whatever came next, knowing she had the support of a friend who believed in her and, more importantly, a newfound belief in herself.